Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to go through Twitter, see what people are sharing on social media. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it together, generally related to three different topics: wealth building, commodities, and or financial topics. Let's dive right in, take a look, see what's going on today. If you want to follow me, it's @_finance. And if you want to join our community, finding-value.com, where I dive deeper into all these topics, subjects, sectors, looking for investment opportunities and sharing them with everyone in the community. If that sounds interesting to you, definitely sign up. Special is a coupon code that you can use on both the monthly and yearly memberships. All right, Henrik Zaberg. I used to listen to this guy every once in a while. He was calling for $800 gold. 800. Constantly calling for deflation, that it's going to be down, 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 down. He's got a post here. I won't hold that against him. I'll look at this post with an open mind. But this is kind of, I would say, more common thought that's being thrown around Twitter for the past few years, maybe even up to, heck, it's probably been up to 4 or 5 years even. What this is your 2 and 10 yield curve. This is 2-year U.S. government bond 2-year yield. And he's got unemployment, and then he's got down here the 10 and the 2. So the 10 and the 2. So when this goes up, this inverts, and then when it uninverts and goes above kind of this red line, that's generally where we get recessions. And a lot of people have been calling for disinflation, deflation, the unemployment rate to rocket higher here. And it's been going up, no doubt. What does this look like in an inflationary slowdown? Does the 2 and 10 still uninvert? And how does that impact our investments? Right? Because that's really what matters. We don't care if we call a recession right or wrong. We care the impact to our investments. And here's one thing that I'll come with. A lot of people have been trying to predict this recession. And they've been saying it and predicting it for, heck, the whole time I've been invested in commodities, basically, since 2020. Well, I should say really since 2021, 2022. That's when a lot of people really came out of the woodwork and started saying, yeah, we're going to get a recession, we're going to get a recession. This could be, we could get a recession. It's totally possible. I can easily see the parallels compared to everything in history. The question I have is it going to be inflationary or deflationary? And that's what separates everyone, right? A lot of people are calling, oh, it's going to be deflationary. We're going to see prices fall. I'm not going to say anything here, but I am. Where are these prices falling? I can't find them anywhere of the things that I purchase. So I'm in the camp that things are going to be inflationary, especially of the things that people need. Food. I mean, I swear, just a few years ago, I could have sworn that beef was like half the price almost a couple, 2, 3 years ago. Like half the price. Eggs, I mean, they've been rocketing. Now, everything that I buy, and I don't buy a lot of stuff, everything that I buy, which is basically food, insurance, like car insurance, health insurance, and that's basically it. That's really all I buy. And then I also buy gasoline and other stuff like that. And gas hasn't really moved much at all. Gasoline has been flat, and I'm sure Trump and Vicente, they made sure to keep that flat as long as they could, as they made it very apparent that that's what they were trying to do, their objective. But most everything that I pay for, it has gone way up. So I want to know, where is this deflation? Show me where it is. Now, obviously, you're going to show me something like a big screen TV. I don't buy big screen TVs, guys. I've got like two big screen TVs that I purchased used a long time ago. And since they continue to work, I don't buy anything. My computer last time I purchased it was more expensive than the computer before that. But I guess hypothetically you could say, oh, well, it's better. I don't know. It is better, but so I don't know where this deflation is that people are talking about. The Lacey Hunts, the some of these other people talking about this deflationary thing. It's I don't see it. I don't feel it. I don't see it. I don't experience that. So we'll see. We'll see if we get a slowdown here. Very possible. Not stating that it isn't. I just worry that it's going to be inflationary, not deflationary. So that's where my head's at, and I'll describe why. Someone asking me, Andy, if BJ's milkshake is a real thing, how will that affect gold prices? And then someone responded underneath it, it doesn't say anything about the dollar versus gold. It says when the debt crisis starts, the dollar will do better against other currencies. He advocates owning gold as one of his top positions. Of course, I said BJ Milkshake is wrong. Well, why would I say that? Why would I say that his theory could be wrong? Because when I go into the market, this is what I want to go. I want to go into the market and see the dollar outperforming other currencies. And I want to see patterns that are suggesting that. Well, this is a downtrend. That's the dollar whooping the Australian dollar. That there is the dollar outperforming. When Australian dollar outperformed, that was our commodity bull market. So Australian dollar went up against the United States dollar. We have a falling wedge that is just starting to break out here. It's just starting to break out. Where is this dollar strength you speak of? Show me where it is. If this breaks out, and I trade on patterns, guys. I don't trade on hopes, dreams, or narratives. I cut all the BS out. I don't care, milkshake, all the boys to the yard, blah, 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 whatever that is, right? Does that look like it could break out? This looks like a bullish formation for the Australian dollar to outperform the US dollar. Okay, let's keep looking. The African rand in a falling wedge breaking to the upside against the US dollar. Where is this dollar strength? Question mark. Show me where the milkshake is. Because all the milkshake that the boys in the yard are chasing are non-dollar denominated assets. That's where the milkshake is at. Canadian dollar versus US dollar. Do you see anything familiar here? Outperformance Canadian dollar, falling wedge before it. Falling wedge before it. We'll see if we get a breakout here. That's a bullish formation for the Canadian dollar to outperform. Well, what about the Brazilian real? Falling wedge into a double bottom. Those break higher, not lower. Really, so the Brazilian real is going to outperform the dollar. The Canadian dollar is. The African rand, South African rand, and the Australian dollar. And great, here's the British pound, and that's already pounding the dollar. Breakout here was the last bull market in commodities, and this is already broken out and appreciating against the dollar. So where is this milkshake taking us? To me, this milkshake is a weaker dollar. Now, is some sort of credit event going to happen where everybody runs to the dollar? I don't know. That's not what the charts are suggesting. And that's why I don't go off of narratives. That's why I don't go off of theories. I go off of what are people doing and positioning in the markets. I don't see it. I don't see it. Now, if the dollar was strong and if we were going to get deflation, why is gold going vertical? Of course, they're going to make up some narrative of why. But this is priced in dollars. Oh, well, the dollar will just be stronger than other currencies. Well, that's not what I see in the currency exchange rate charts. And the gold is flying here. Well, what about silver? Silver's got a cup and handle pattern the size of Jupiter. This thing, it's not even going to go to the moon, it's going to go to Jupiter. You're telling me that the dollar is going to be strong in this situation? I mean, the dollar's strong here. The dollar was strong here. And then we're doing launches here. So I don't know what they're talking about. I can't find this deflationary, I don't know, narrative to have any roots in any of the charts that I look at. And again, this is what this is what I do, okay, guys? When someone makes a claim, so you've got a claim here, I make a claim, and then I go look for evidence of the claim, right? We're going to get deflation. Okay, where is this deflation coming at? Do I see a topping pattern? No, everything I see is inflation. Everything. I can't even find a deflationary chart in the commodity space, in some of these. I mean, yeah, you could maybe find individual equities or something like that, but almost everything I look at looks pretty good. Do you think we're going to have a huge deflation when copper's about to break out of its all-time high? I mean, that's busting on a resistance. If you're gonna fall, you'd be putting in a rising wedge or something. That's going to break lower. We are coming up against resistance there in an ascending triangle. Ascending triangles are bullish to break upwards, not downwards. And we had our consolidation here of the 1, 2, 3 up consolidation. It says, be an interesting chart using this data. So show me the deflation on this chart that we are experiencing. There was a little bit here in 2008 and 9. That was it. And that was the way that they calculate it. They just make the numbers up, guys. They make it all up. The job numbers, what did they do? They made it up. Should I believe the new job numbers that have been revised lower? I don't know. They made up the job numbers before and now they're revising it lower so they can try to lower interest rates in the face of massive inflation. Click the data, right? Well, look at the 1980s based inflation. We were up over 15% inflation. And we've pulled back to what? 12, 12 and a half, 13? That's not inflation? Look at the inflation rate. It's creeping higher and higher and higher. That's a nice trend. I see this deflation here. It's at 12% inflation. Here's Grady, and I'm resharing this because he shared it a little while ago on September 8th. He says this inflation versus deflation index chart was in a range for 8 years. Then it broke down for a very probable blue false breakout, which it was. Now breaking upwards from a pink bullish falling wedge, getting prepared for a second inflationary wave is now imperative. Where is this deflation you speak of? Why is the inflation index outperforming the deflation index? And what evidence do we have of deflation? Where is it? Coming down. Declining inflation is not what happens in a recovery early phase. This is what happens in a late phase. Now, do we have declining inflation? Yeah, the rate has been declining. So it's the declining inflation rate. But could it pick back up? Grady thinks so. I think so. Looking at a lot of the charts, they're starting to break higher or at all-time highs for commodities, some of them. Gold sure thinks so. I mean, is he arguing with gold and the entire gold market? I mean, that is pretty vertical, guys. Do you think that gold goes vertical in a deflation? Or maybe there is some weird event that it comes. I don't know. I don't see it. I think they're just going to print a bunch of money. Look at that. Jeez. Zero hedge. We have deflation. Really? Where is this deflation? Show me where it is. Here's some good charts you haven't seen anywhere else. So is it time to sell your bank stocks and buy silver? So this is a silver divided by JP Morgan ratio. Gotta love the ratio, guys. You gotta love it. Here it is breaking out. Silver's about to break out against JP Morgan. Isn't that ironic? The one that's suppressing it the most, it's breaking out against. Silver did a 12.5x last time it did something very similar to this breakout. That occurred in 98.99 was the bottom. That was also the bottom of the commodity to stock ratio. Now, tell me this, guys. This chart right here, is that screaming deflation? I'm having trouble reading this. Last time we had inflation here. Is this screaming inflation or deflation? Now, if this is inflation, and this back here in the 70s was inflation, do you think that this could be inflationary? Now, if I asked my 7-year-old, do you think this would be inflation looking at this chart? They would say yes. Then why are we so worried about deflation? Show me the data where deflation or disinflation is coming. This is going into an inflationary period. Well, Grady thinks so. And I agree with him, not just because, freight futures, AM update, dry bulk, Capesize flat, Panamax down 2%, tankers, VLCC down 3%, Suezmax flat. Posted this gold miner chart of green dots saying it was the next big buy add point. It was all 3 times. Link post below shows green dot at blue backtest at 280. Since then, it's up another 92%. Note that the pink arrow is unchanged since I drew it back in 2022. So there it is, the secular bull, second leg, ripping higher. Is it time to revisit the upper trend line of this channel? I think it is. And of course, we bought a whole bunch down here too, and a bunch of variety of different companies. So yeah, it looks really good. For the Huey is the Gold Bugs Index, the Gold Bugs Index. Here's North Star. This is as clear as I can make it. So he's got a huge gold bull runs. What he's looking at is the cycle. So he's starting to get into the cycle analysis. Lost 10 years, lost 12 years, and then another lost 10 years question mark. I agree with this. That is what I would suspect to come. So I agree with this chart here, and I think gold's going to continue to go up. I think we're going to go into an inflationary environment, very similar to 2000 to 2011, very similar to the 1970s, and we are in this gigantic bull market in commodities. And we can see the fractal patterns across the board. It's not even that I can't find deflationary charts. We have the same damn fractal patterns here, here, and here. And we went through the first leg, we hit the bottom of the second, and we're going to go up in a third leg. So it's everything. The fractals, the patterns, it all matches. Rock bottom entries. Palladium cycle bottom is in. $5,000 target for palladium. Yeah, palladium looks good. Platinum looks good. Silver looks good. It looks so deflationary that we're calling rock bottom's calling 5,000 in palladium. Really deflationary. I'm sorry, guys. Like, I look at this and I'm just like, where is this data for deflation? And that's all I've got for today. So we'll end it there. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website if you like. Specials, the coupon code. And that's all I've got for today. So we'll catch you next time, guys. See you later.